G'day mates, how's it going? I'm Mr. GT. Welcome to the channel once again. And if you remember, about a week and a half ago when it was New Year's Eve, I was in this garage. And we're back again because we're going to do a little series for people that are interested in restoring their classic cars. I've got Alex over there in the corner. We're going to be speaking to him shortly, and he's going to go through the process of how to rebuild a car, especially the panel work. So stay tuned for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me just explain to you what we're going to do here. We're going to do a little series on panel work. It's how to build a classic, but we're going to cover the panel work as Alex is a fabricator. And he's going to show us how to go through all the process. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you different bits that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be doing episodes. So this is going to be part one. And what are we showing them today, Alex?
What we got here is a floor pan. It's for an imaginary vehicle. But what we got is we're going to throw some beads in it.
Yep.
And you'll see with your eyes how a floor pan or any of these panels that you get from the auto shops, how they're made. And
so where would somebody be able to get this material from?
All right, this material is called cold rolled.
Yep.
And the reason it's called cold rolled is when it's made, it comes from a big giant 10-ton block, and they just run it through a whole series of rollers, huge rollers, until they get the desired thickness. And the reason it's cold rolled is because it's a lot stronger than hot rolled. And an example of hot rolled would be some metal like this, which is zinc and oil, galvanized iron. All this tube would be a good example of hot rolled. We go to exhaust pipes. If I can show you some exhaust pipes.
Yep, that'll be nice.
That's this finish is cold rolled, and you can tell it's cold rolled because that's where they weld the two. That's where the two. Originally this started off a flat bit of metal like this, but they form it in a whole series of dies, and this is your weld where they join the two together. And if it was hot rolled, the whole thing will be black.
Right.
Cold rolled, only where the hot surface will be black. Excellent. And I don't know why. Look, this stuff rusts. This stuff, when you buy it, comes in a light layer of oil. Of course, when you're working on it, you wipe the oil off and you leave it overnight. All your fingerprints will be on it the next day. The side that's facing up will be a lot rustier than the side that's facing down. But that's just how it is. Okay. There's no protective coating on this. That's why they come soaked in oil. Same with you exhaust plates, working with exhaust. Dirty black oily hands when you pick up a new tube.
Right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the process you have to go through because, as you know, factories don't build your classic models anymore. So they have to be made, especially since they've worn out. And this is how Alex goes about it. Like Alex does all this stuff. So. Okay,
now a little bit of theory before we get started. Some people like to get some tracing paper and go over an original floor pan. That's all good, but always your dimensions will be out because when you throw a bit of paper over the outside of something, you're actually measuring something that's going to be larger than what you need because you're on the outside. But anyway, that can come later on in another video. At the moment, we're going to run some beads across here. I always use a scriber because this is 3mm wide, and this scriber is like 15th hour wide, etc.
Excellent.
And don't worry about scratching, because by the time you finish forming it, etc., there'll be hardly anything there. And just before I get started, we are going to start on the English wheel. This is an English wheel. You can buy one for about 700 delivered, etc.
Okay, so we're talking about this whole machinery here.
The top die is always going to be flat. The bottom die has different profiles. This is a 2-inch profile or 50mm radius. This is a flat profile. And always when you buy these bottom dies, they've always got a number on it, or this has got that's got an F on the top telling me that's the flat one. And of course you just change.
Yeah.
Very quickly change these wheels.
Yep, they're all just lined up here, situated nicely.
All right, the purpose of this is to pre-stretch our beads, because what's going to happen, our bead on the top is going to be our bead on the top will be 15mm wide, but to get that 15mm to go all the way around, we're going to need at least 23mm. And you'll see as I go what I'm trying to achieve. It's called the pre-stretching, and you just got to do it. I've marked the back of it as well because I want my beads going a particular way. I throw it in there. I'm going to do it very quickly, and I'm just going to throw heaps of tension on this wheel. And all I'm doing is pressing these two wheels together. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, guys. And you can already see it starting to change shape. And all I'm doing right now is just adding extra material. And I don't mind going a little bit wider, and I'll explain that to you later on, is because all that's going to stretch and pull everything together. Okay, and I'll do the second one here.
You can see it's starting to take shape.
Okay, and that'll do me. Of course, this is only rough. Everything is time. And now, I'll take my tape off. Sorry for the delay. We'll get there.
Not a problem there, Alex.
Don't worry about the rust, this is just an example.
Okay, and this machine?
This machine is a bead roller. At the moment I've got the bead, as I explained, it's 15mm wide or 9/16 I think. Over here we've got smaller ones, all different shapes. Stepped edges, channels.
Excellent.
Okay.
So basically it covers like, you know, a large amount of classic cars to cater for all the floor beads.
Yeah, some beads are wider, etc., etc. Most beads are either 1/2 inch or 9/16. Okay, and I'm just lining it up there on the edge. And just like our English wheel, I'm going to screw this down and press this shape into the metal. I've got a little foot operated control, so both hands on the job. Of course, if you've got a crank driven one, which, you know, probably only a couple of hundred, most of you can afford it, it's going to be a lot harder to operate with one hand here and one hand on the crank. Get a mate to help you out. And I'll just now start the beading process. Let's see what's going on here. Just didn't have the speed up.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Put one hand in the front, one hand behind. Stop there. I might just do another pass just for the hell of it. A little bit deeper. And most of the times, once you've done your first bead, it'll self-center itself, so, you know, you only want to move it if you're a little bit crooked.
Right. Makes sense.
This one here, just very roughly, back down with the pressure. Find my line. Another pass, and you can already see it's taken shape.
Oh yeah.
Of course, this is only just very quick.
So ladies and gentlemen, here these dips that you see, like that's like in the pattern of the floor. When you remove your carpet, you usually see those little dips, or you know, crannies and whatever, and that's what Alex is doing here, like in simple terms.
Okay, now I'm going to do these all the way across, but before I move to the next one, I'll just throw it there. And for argument's sake, sorry about this, I'll get my punches. Okay, that's a leather hole punch, or you know, you use it to punch holes in soft materials, I suppose. All I've done is I've cut it into a half a circle, and I'll just throw it very quickly here, and I'll finish it off. Most people don't do this because it takes a lot more time. Watch your ears, guys. I just like to finish them off like this, very quickly.
So what he's done is he's rounded it off. Right there. To give it that perfect look.
And you know, of course, this is a little bit bowed because, of course, this is very quickly, but I just a light tap, and we'll move over to the next one. Okay. Give it another pass, make it a little bit deeper. And I'm going to put pressure down on both ends just to make it a little bit straighter.
Oh, yep.
Which is what I didn't do last time. Of course, this is only an example. Normally for a customer you'd spend a lot more time. Or it depends how much money he's got to spend.
Yeah.
Look, just very quickly. Oh, actually, I'll keep going, it's all right. Okay, this one turned out a lot straighter, only because I put downward pressure on it. It'll always want to curve up.
Yep.
And once again, we move over here. Sorry, mate. Bit of a fudge here and there. We can all dress that out later on. And for our last one, how are we going for time? How long have we taken so far, George? Mr. GT?
Roughly 12 minutes.
Okay, a little bit longer than expected, but once again, just a quick demonstration.
Fine, mate. 20-minute videos are usually the norm, so...
Just release this. Roll it over here. Okay, this thing is so stiff.
Yeah, it adds stiffness to when you do that, doesn't it?
Well, that's the whole purpose of it.
Right, yes.
Similar to a folded edge. Do we have enough time to make some rounded corners?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I'll just throw this down. Set up.
Okay, so Alex has set up the machinery here.
This is just a homemade roller. I don't use a roller very often, but what I'll do is I'll stick that in there, clamp it down on your bench. As you can see, it's just got 2 bits of angle on a bit of pipe. Whatever size pipe you got. Oh, this ain't gonna work. It's a little bit deeper.
Right.
If you're ever doing a wheel well, they're never at 90 degrees because they'll never get them out of the press. They're always 80, 75, etc., etc. I'll lift this up. Actually, I'm just going to destroy this temporarily. Throw you back under there. Of course, I'd be more accurate, but this is just a demonstration. Roll that up. I'll just do one last side. Safety boots. As you can see in Australia, we're right into our safety gear. Okay, now we can put that aside. I knew we were going to destroy these corners, and I might even destroy them a little bit more, and I'll show you why. If I can find my hammer.
Oh, it's on the floor.
Oh, that's right. Just another panel beater's tool. Okay, I can't roll that down. That was a good example because it just keeps wanting to move it to the opposite side. So what we're going to do here is we're going to shrink it.
Another machine here.
Mate, these things are only worth about $100, $120 each, etc. They're made in the USA, and just zoom in here and I'll show you what it does. You put your metal in there, and then as you pull down this trigger, it just tries to pull it all together.
Okay. Yeah, we can see that.
Okay.
It's like sandwiching it.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'll put my little handle here. I'm going to have a hard time getting it in, which is why I flattened it, but that doesn't matter. We're not going round at the moment. All we're doing is reducing the amount of metal on the end by shrinking it. And we'll dress it all up with a hammer and a dolly later on. Of course, these are a cheap shrinker and stretcher, but they're good for the backyarder. And now working my way around, I've reduced a fair bit of it already, and that's without manipulating it with the hammer and dolly.
Yep, so it saves a bit of time.
Well,
A lot of time.
I've seen a lot of these floor pans, and they come with a notch across here so you can dress them up later on. You know, I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather have a one piece. Taking shape. Of course, I can spend more time on it.
Yeah, to do perfection like your customer, obviously.
And I definitely need a lot more shrinking there. I'm going to have a hard time getting it in the machine, but we'll see how we go. Otherwise, I'll just have to dress it up with a hammer and a dolly.
Get a good workout too there, Alex. Build the muscles.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, when you sweat on this stuff, wipe it off straight away. just very quick example of the amount of time it would take to do a floor pan. Once again, this could be any direction, any shape, a channel shape, a bead. All these corners are the same process. They all involve shrinking. That's why I always round my corners. I never cut my corners to a square because that's just a lot more material to shrink.
Excellent.
I can finish this off with a light sand over the top, dress it up a lot more, but just an example of what it takes in the day of a fabricator.
Excellent. Alex, we thank you very, very much for showing us how to make these floor pans with all the extra requirements. Make it look factory, exactly like the factory ones. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this little video, we're going to be doing a series on other panels as well. So I'd just like to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for your support, and we'll see all of you in the next one. And Alex, once again, we thank you very much.
Thank you to Horsepower Addiction. Stay tuned and give us a thumbs up.
Cheers. Bye everybody. Bye Alex.